My favorite of favorites, the Great Mystery. There was a time when it wasn't so much spirituality, but the temples were created to give understandings, and so you go to a specific temple to learn and to receive. And so I'm attuned to sacred ritual, ceremony, meditation, mediumship. Yes, trance mediumship is great, and you can discern the level of whoever's channeling before you, like a seal, heavenly angel, I love you. And to Renee and Anthony, they're doing amazing work with people, but to actually do out-of-body work and allow another spirit to come in to speak, you have to know that every word and breath that they are speaking is for the benefit of all. They do not veer from that, and that is when you know you have a true benevolent being. So understanding the world of spirit, understanding your path, because you will be before your creator. And a lot of people say, well, I'm an atheist. And I say to you, a rock cannot birth out of itself. No matter what you do, it does not have that level of beingness. So in order to birth a child, and we celebrate here in May, the joining of male and female and creating a child, the Amrita that drops in the womb of the woman, enabling her to have divine embodiment of the goddess. So we say to you, acknowledge that there is an intelligence and move forward. This is a hint. So we have sacred union and marriage, Kundalini, Hatha Yoga, all these things. I have searched, and it is proven that if your intent is there, you will find the glories of creation. So we have shamanism, the sacred worlds, the tribal councils, integration of nature, medicine wheel keepers. If you ever get a chance, do the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel is the cosmos, and as you step upon it, it is your world, and you find the most amazing things about yourself. It is the teacher. So I was known as Golden Dove. I was called by the grandmothers. I was trained by an Arapaho medicine woman named Ruby Sky. She taught me how to stop crying and not sitting still in the council room. So I learned how to become a medicine wheel keeper. And I love her for this. I also walk with the Hopi Nation and in council room with them, with the eldest Hopi, Titus. And so I just want to praise the nature world of the Native American and all the natives around the world. My Nubian, the native Nubians, they carry the teachings. They are hidden. So I'm just going to take you quickly through again the near-death experience. These are ways of evolving consciousness, yes? Into the Godhead. Just take a moment with that one. And those who've had near-death experience, I call it the death experience. Actually, you completely are taken away and out of the body, you know. The path is narrow when you come back. You have no doubt that everything that you do is of consequence. And most are leading amazing lives, sharing their love. So this is my brain. I looked at this picture. I said, oh my God, this is my brain. Oh my goddess. And my heart and my wisdom that I share with you. But we are not alone. We are not alone. I want to honor the entheogenic pathway to celestial realities. Yes, it is a pathway for many. And I'm loving that it is now being brought online for elders who are passing to take the journey with the cabensis mushrooms and helping to open and give them the relief they need and the trust. There are other realms and they will be taken care of as they move through and transitioning. This journey gives us the multidimensional contact with our ancestors, past, present, and future. The divine awakening to self-realization. It is a a gateway opening to the whole of creation, the cosmos, and other worlds, but it is not the end of ends. It is a gateway. And here we have Ballet Sagrado, who gives us the understanding of how they learned about plants. I spoke to you as I walked out into the nature, and the nature plants started speaking to me. Well, in some of these native settings, they take the medicine, and it amplifies their ability to speak and to know something is going on in the village. And I've been down and I spent weeks with the Guatemalans, and believe me, the whole village gets involved, even the children, you know. And they ask the questions of spirit, you know, what do we need to do? What do we need to know? So much respect. It can be done in a respectful way. And if humanity were to just make a space, just a little space for the spirituality, the awakeness, those who are in need to move and elevate themselves forward, the gifts that would come pouring out. And I honor each one of you for your medicine baskets. And here we have my beautiful friend, he calls himself Android Jones, but Andrew Jones. We come face to face with the ancestors. So the question to you now is, are you ready? You know, I could speak a lot about my own experience, and each time, you know, the first time I had an immortal appear to me, my body was shaking. And they were so patient. They just, you know, materialized out of, you know, in the forest meditating. And it took a moment. And Tai Li Po, he looked at me and he just said, I am Tai Li Po, and I've come to speak with you. What a thrill. No medicine, just meditation, just heartfelt meditation. And I tell you, whether it's medicine or whatever you need, however, which way it needs to come to you, and you elevate yourself and you begin to connect. And I'm sure many of you are getting it in dream state, you're getting intuitional hits, and it's rising, and you're like, I'm becoming so sensitive. Yes, the energies are rising, and our siddhas, what the Tibetan calls our siddhas, our full potential is coming online. So yes, it's going to become even more powerful. Here we have my beloved friend, Alex Gray. And so it's what we do with the wisdom. Do we offer it in art and writing and dance and song, putting it down? Because when those people view it, when you view these beautiful pieces of art, then it goes inward and you receive the transmission. And then as it goes in, it reflects outward in the things you do, the places you go, and how you share your life. This is a commission per Ankh, and it was commissioned by Michael and Diana Melchizedek. And we did this beautiful thing for the world, and just wanted you to take it in, and it has a lot of my heart in it. This is one of my designs. And then again, the Temple of Light, a design that came through. So I made a pledge that I would leave my writings and my teachings for humanity. And here you have one of those for you. And we are here at the gateway of the Star Nations. It is an ultimate gateway. And in the writings that they gave us, the transmission in chapter 11, they speak about Earth being a place where beings would come from all over the galaxy to learn. Now, there was a time when everyone lived in the sepulchres. They didn't come into this third dimension except for like resources. They'd come in, get what they need, and leave. And eventually, Earth was colonized. We did go through a situation where the whole of the Milky Way, the Shishita, moved into a sector of time and space that was a very low frequency. They call it the destructive period. where the one continent broke up, there was a reverse of magnetic field. I think it was 400 million years ago, something like this. It's in the book. And the reverse consciousness occurred. So what that looks like is generally most galactic intelligence is unified. It has a unified consciousness of knowing the graciousness of the Radiant One and working through the Primas, the High Spiritual Council, the Star Confederations, and the Galactic Star Confederations. They would move from one planetary system or star system to another. So when the reverse consciousness happened, what occurs is that person becomes very selfish. It's a reverse consciousness, self-centered, wanting to control, wanting to own, wanting to take over. So we have all these reverse consciousness people who are trying to and have been working diligently. This is a part of their expression. And what's interesting is the galactics love them. They see them as their brother and sister. They see all of us as kin. They call us the kin. I think there was a book written about that one time. But anyway, so the reversed consciousness occurred for the first time because they had done the colonization on planet Earth in the third dimension. And when the lower frequency came, the reverse consciousness happened throughout the whole of the Milky Way. So anything that was in a third dimensional frequency, the reverse consciousness occurred. They took care, the Galactic Star Federation, the High Spiritual Council, to rescue. There was a whole rescue operation that went on for thousands of years, and some people could be healed and some not. Some lost their embodiment and they're just in psychic form and intelligence form. And many of these psychic intelligence, such as the Ascension speak about the archons, come in and influence. They cannot physically manifest, but they come in and they offer different modalities of consciousness. I will give you technology and, other species that are of reverse consciousness that could not be helped have re-entered into our sphere. And cracking open our world with atomic bomb blasting and nuclear has allowed for them to even more. So they've been working diligently, say, for 50 years or so. I've seen it. I've been following it. And now they have pitched their last and their most powerful cast. They've pitched it, I don't even know what to say, a thought form. But it is for each one of you to say, they have no power in my life. It is my life. This is my world. And I create my world as I need. Find the timeline that takes you directly to the higher, to the place where you need to be. And I want to just speak into this, that the only one who can take you on and off this planet is the Creator. So any fear that you have within you is that fear of death. And that fear of death is a transformation to meet your Maker. So what is it that you are really afraid of? Because the glory and the beauty and the radiance and the place of being, I cannot give words, but only just an emanation of breathing out and just saying, check in with yourself. If you're creating scenarios of fear and turbulence, and if you've taken the red pill, so know that it's time to move on. The glory is happening. The veil is dropping. I'm so glad you're here today. And let's see, I do want to say, you can read there my connection in 1960, El Magardo, Lancaster. Ah, yes, I have been in the Dragon's Den. My husband, Ernest Robert Hunt, was high security around the world. He had done 2 wars, and they gave him the security of Edwards Air Force Base. And there I was able to be taken before down into some of the lower parts of that base, something like 44,000, 43,000 miles. Anyway, I came face to face and saw reptilian. So I want to tell you that there are those of reverse consciousness that would put fear in your heart. And I know that people have been abducted. I have done many years when I was up in the mountains in the 80s, up in Middletown, and I had a practice, and I still do, in helping people to go through the process. And I call it celestial activations. And those people who are abducted or taken for their eggs, or, you know, the yeast came into the women to use for the skin of the little grays. There was different formation, but each time when you really get down to it, nothing can be done to you except for agreement. So my work has been, shall be, to help those of you who need, and get in touch with me, and I'm going to later talk about it, go sessions, to understand your galactic origins. Where did you come from before you came to Earth? Very detailed. It was given to me by the Galactics in order to prepare you to go to Skywatch. But really just to prepare you to be in the presence of the ultraterrestrials, extraterrestrials, those of the high command. So when you go into the galactic awakening of the self, then you get the detailed understanding. You go back in time 10,500 years. Are you in your original form? And that is so fascinating. I mean, the details of that alone. And maybe you're by yourself. Maybe you were a scout. Maybe you were a meteor that hit the earth. Maybe you came from the astral belt and you went into the earth. And so we reverse engineer your life and we bring you back to the place of origin. There you understand how you came to Earth. Did you come in a Stargate? Did you come on a ship? Did you just appear because you have that ability? You find out your powers, your understanding, and you meet your original grouping. We look at your contracts and agreements because, as I said, nothing happens to you without agreement. I have found more people who have had association with orbs appearing, or they see a ship and or something happens and it's their own Starkin appearing to wake them up. They planned it. I'm going to incarnate in this human body and exactly I need you to wake me up. Promise that? Yeah, we'll promise. We'll come and wake you up. We'll take you on the ship. How about that? So I've learned so much to look at each individual case in what is, quote, abduction. Sometimes they are not. The cattle mutilation, what is that all about? I can go into that, but I choose, today is about you, and just to understand that there is workings with groupings of people who need these things to happen, who allow certain beings to participate within their life. And so I want to say to you to look at that. And if you're interested, you can have a go session, Galactic Origin or Celestial Activation. So I began light group meetings way back in the 80s, and we had so much information. It was all about everybody sitting and accepting each other. And so we had gone, pretty much everybody had agreed that there was more going on than what was given. We also met the Solar Cross, and this was amazing. The Solar Cross was began by a gentleman who was in the CIA, and he was out listening to the neighborhood talking, and he was approached by Ashtar Command. Eventually he went on a ship, he came back, and he left the CIA and began the Solar Cross. So I had the pleasure of meeting them. And so there's these groupings all over the world. I just want to honor you all for all the work that you're doing in interfacing with the star nations. Important. So there you have it, a little bit about me, my life purpose, to assist in the elevation of consciousness on earth in a sacred way. There I am, awakened consciousness. Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad to be awake. And I love all those at every level, It's just who you are. So we look at the natural forces, celestial beings, ultra-terrestrials, star-akin, the angelic realms. And I have to say, you know, I believe all women are touched by the angelic realm when they conceive and when they have the child. And they are watched over by angelic beings and presence. Archangel Michael appeared as a golden orb when I conceived my daughter, Lysandra Michael. I named her the flower of Archangel Michael. And the preciousness of that is with me. So we have angels and we have heavenly emissaries and we have, it's all multidimensional, and the secret government. And as what I've been told is that they're not going to wipe the world away and give us a brand new world so that we can live in. No, we must learn to work with the new frequency. We must understand the new sciences that will enable us to modulate and bring consciousness online, evolve and elevate, evolve and elevate. And as the frequencies increase, they will come forward and meet us. And so we have awakened humanity, unified cosmic consciousness, and the councils and the confederations. So here we go. What's your story? You might want to write that down. Maybe do a timeline. See, when did I awaken to this? And then, I've been on the trail the whole time. And I'm so happy that you're here. So all of humanity is on a life journey of evolution. And we are all evolving into galactic consciousness. And again, when I say galactic, think galaxy. We are in the galaxy. We've gone from child, you know, to parents, to community, town, city, state, you know, nation, global, yeah? And now we're leaping off. We're going beyond solar system. Because when we do, as the veil drops, and literally I'm going to go into the science of what's happening there, we're in a whole new vibrational field. And that is why we're seeing more. They no longer have to cloak. This is it. We are in the nest. We are in a whole new vibrational frequency. So think where you are in the human evolution of consciousness. What's the work ahead of you? Might want to write that down. You know, all this stuff about racism, superiority, you know, the galactic see us as one species. We are seen as one species. And that's what we need to get to. Okay? Humanity this is the signature form for Earth. And it has a tone. Earth has a tone within the whole of the Sheshata. That beautiful tone of Earth. And our Earth is a little scrambly in its intonation because of all this modulation of frequency of thought. And so as we awaken, we become recognizing we are one species as long as one child is starving, as long as there are somebody without a home, you know, they do not see us as superiority. I'm sorry. They see us as a multicolored, multifunctional. What is our quality and our function? Individually, we each are birthed into creation. You, as an individual, are indestructible. There is so much respect for that. It will continue. Your life will continue to unfold no matter if you're in this form or whatever form you're in. That is you. But yet you have a purpose. And so the galactics, they honor your purpose. The ultra-terrestrials honor your purpose and your function. They put it together, and that's really the best place for you. And so they teach us how to open the field, not to go get educated at a college, but to understand your purpose and function. And what do you need to lift you up and support you in that way? I want to just put that on the platform. And so we are seen as one species. We are children of the Sheshata who live upon the earth. And they asked me, how do we see through those little teeny eyes? You know, they're very humorous. They love to laugh. So we are all awakening that we are one species. And as the veil drops, you'll see. We are going to depend on each other. We are going to need to depend. And I'm seeing it now in this crisis, you know, all around the world. They're dealing with the homeless. They're dealing with those without food. They're dealing with the children. They're, you know, it's this mass awakening. So I'm very, very proud of humanity because we can step it up. And there are no borders. Look at us. I'm talking to the whole of creation. I'm talking to all of you out there around the world. As a species, we're experiencing galactic awakening. We are one species in the cosmos. So we're at the dawning of a new era. And this dawning is not the New World Order. It is the new day. We are moving into the differential awakening. Earth is ascending into galactichood. Keep that in mind. I want to begin to recognize this home of ours, the Milky Way. I want to begin by looking at this dark line that goes across the center of the Milky Way. That is called the rift. And the rift takes 20 years for Earth to go through. And notice the bottom and the top of the Milky Way, we literally do an ecliptic orbit from the lower part of the Milky Way to the upper part of the Milky Way. And I'm taking a moment because we have someone who's trying to get in, and I'm hoping I can send this to them. And 20 years it takes for them, for us. We do 298,000 years to do an eclipse from the bottom of the Milky Way, above and around. So just think about that. The Mayans have the calendar of our ecliptic orbit from the bottom of the Milky Way just surfacing. So in 2013, on that morning, this is an image I created, we were dead center in the middle of the Milky Way. Now we're moving from the lower nature of the Milky Way to the upper nature of the Milky Way. The lower to the upper. So right there we have the change in magnetic field. And as we passed through, it took 20 years, 1997 to 2017, to pass through the center. Now we're in the upper part of the Milky Way. Just that alone shifted our field. This was an image from NASA. I thought this really explains a lot. And so imagine, as I said before, that Earth is traveling with the Milky Way. And there are sectors of time and space, and each one has an intelligence, and it has a vibrational frequency, a function, and a quality. Our Milky Way has now moved into a sector of time and space, we are told, that has of a higher frequency. It has illuminated consciousness, and so therefore everything that we are imbued with is influenced through the sector of time and space. Know that the sun's wave patterns, its solar waves have weakened, and we are getting more cosmic energy. And I think the drawing here of this NASA Goddard is very apropos. So we're getting more cosmic energy, literally. This is literally happening. And what I'm told is that the cosmic rays are so powerful, it's like looking at a Russian doll, you know, and you see the different one within the other, within the other. So our universe, our third dimension, has dissolved. Now they take me out from time to time. I get to go out, they show me different things. It's a blessing, and then I just have to sit with it because it keeps unfolding. So what they did was they showed me these layers of dimensional fields, and each layer, like in this Russian doll, each layer, each circular formation, each dimensional field has principles and laws, universal laws. And basically, it looks similar to this kind of lots of photonic energy. So frequencies modulating and intersecting each other. And we have had this dimension adjacent to us in which the septicles and the vibrational infrastructures were made to help bring balance to the planet.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Neil with Portal to Ascension, and I just wanted to take a moment really quick and show you the Portal to Ascension platform. The presentation or the documentary that you just watched was one of our many productions that I've done over the years, created well over 1,000 workshops, events, conferences, retreats, webinars, and this is how our website works. If you want to go ahead and receive not only access to this presentation, but hundreds of other presentations that we have available for you right now for free. You can go to our website, you enter your name right here, you email right here, click sign up. Pretty soon we're going to be launching a new website, but the procedure is pretty much the same. You know, your name, email, sign up. Once you do that, you're going to get an email with your username and a temporary password. You then click login. Once you log in, you're going to see the whole entire backend laid out with all the webinars and presentations for you. Not only can you start typing by speaker name, topic, category, whatever you want, even letter, but you can scroll down this list here and sort by category. And I'm not going to read these off to you, but you can take a look. We have a lot of different topics: UFO disclosure, true world history, spiritual development, science, sacred geometry, and so much more. And then you can also search by speaker, which we have here alphabetically, or you can just browse the whole entire thing here and take a look at all these presentations. You are able to, if you can take a look up the top corner here, you're able to add to your watch list to watch these back anytime you want. So you can add to your watch list, it'll be put there. When you come back into the platform, you can continue watching where you left off. There's a documentaries tab, there's an interviews tab, and this is how the individual event page will look. So right now, you can go to the website, portaltoascension.org, put in your name and email, sign up, you'll get access to what you just watched, and there's so much more footage. There's free footage being added weekly. So really, this is a one-stop shop for consciousness, and there's always new valid content for you that is relevant for the times that we're currently in, where we're not only dissecting and delving deep into the ancient past, but also creating information that will empower us for the future to come. And here is an example of one of the event pages. This one's on Billy Carson, Quantum Macabre Manifestation. You can view it right there, description, speaker image, that will also go to his bio, and then also suggested webinars that you can tune into as well. And then of course, please do leave a comment and leave us feedback. So there you go, guys. That's our back end, and that's how Portal to Ascension works. Go ahead, go to the website right now, portaltoascension.org. Enter your name, email, sign up, take a look at the site, let us know what you think, and enjoy.